Yo, Gazmas here with another Grand Archive deck guide. So you want to play Warrior, but as you look at Lorraine, something just doesn't feel right. It's too mainstream for you. You've always been that one kid that's different from the rest of the class. Well, have I got a deck for you. It's built around the Giga Chad himself, Mordred. This deck is pretty simple to pilot, but before we discuss the guide, here's the list, noting there will be a link in the description below. Also, if you like the content, please consider subscribing. Mordred would approve. Okay, so like I said, this is a straightforward game plan. We get to Mordred and then we bring out the Sealed Blade, which is one of the strongest swords currently in the game. We then pair the Sealed Blade with big attacks that produce massive damage turn after turn. Then after we take round 1 by going tall with big attacks, we do a little bait and switch, go wide with my favourite combination of Arthur and the Squirrels. This is demonstrated better by the basic turn cycle of this deck. Turn 1, Fire Spirit. Turn 2, Lorraine. Turn 3, Mordred. After that, we get out our Sealed Blade and volley off massive attack after massive attack for the win. Now quickly touching on Sealed Blade before I dig into the deck any further, it's a 3-cost Regalia that for warriors attacks for 3 damage and has 3 durability counters. Downside is you can only pay for it using floating memory. However, in Mordred's case, it's pretty easy to do due to his ability that attacks in the graveyard have floating memory. So as you can see in this deck, if you combine the attacks with standard floating memory, over half your deck can be used to pay for the Sealed Blade. So the earlier turns, you're not too worried about using a Rending or Fiery Momentum to attack, even if they aren't maximized, as you do want to try have enough floating for Sealed Blade as soon as you can bring it out. Now once Sealed Blade is out, you get to start swinging, and swinging big. Devastating Blow comes for 10, Fiery Momentum for 5, but often 7 plus due to fire cards in the graveyard. Rending Flames for 12, and Sudden Steel for 8 damage. So I know, try using Fiery Momentum before Rending Flames to maximize the potential of each card. Obviously there is a weakness to Rending Flames and Fiery Momentum, that being Nullifying Lantern, but we have some workarounds. The first, Spurn to Ash, as it destroys it and we can continue with our game plan. Or we just pivot into Devastating Blow and Sudden Steel. This is the preferred option, as the opponent bringing out the Lantern actually slows down their game of leveling up, which works to our favour as left health and why this deck actually works. Devastating Blow paired with the Sealed Blade is just so much damage, and due to the element of surprise, wins more games than it should. Obviously the elephant in the room is you need to be level 3 for this, and Mordred is capped at level 2. Well, we have 2 cards that get around this. We have the slower option of Flute of Taming that can give us a level, however this does show a hand to our opponent so they can prepare for the Devastating Blow. But with that said, playing the flute and then winning a game with Devastating Blow is maybe the most satisfying wins I've had in Grand Archive. The other option, which captures your opponent off guard, is playing Impassioned Tutor, which on attack gives your champ +1 level. Also, it's not on enter, they can't stop the level up, so attack with her before you do anything else, otherwise she could be removed as you're giving priority to your opponent. Also, the best part of her is that she only costs 2, so it can be played alongside Devastating Blow with a severed card hand, which is such a sweet spot in GA. Now after you win game 1 with tall sword attacks, it's a perfect time to mix it up and add in the additional 2 Arthurs and 4 Woodland Squirrels to go wide, or as I call it, the Elven and the Chipmunk package. I also included the Conceals to have some sort of protection for the board. Please note that this is very susceptible to a cleave attack, so play around that, but in my experience, after game 1 opponents expect you to go tall and not wide and tend to take them out, or at least reduce the count in their deck. This is also predicated that if you did play units that were cremation fodder and didn't stick to the board to de-incentivize your opponent playing sweeps. If this doesn't work, switch back to tall for game 3. This is where this deck excels, as you can flip-flop between game plans. Actually, the best thing about this deck is it's relatively budget friendly. Outside the Arthur and GCR, the deck is made up of commons, uncommons and rares. Also, this deck doesn't even run dungeon guides, so the cost of living might be going up, but absolutely destroying people with Mordred only requires a bit of pocket money. However, if you want to make it even cheaper, you can always swap out the GCR for Life Essence Amulet, as this is pretty easy to proc in the deck, and the Arthurs can be swapped for Inspiring Calls. So that's all for the video. Let us know what you think in the comments below, or reach out on the Discord. Cheers!